you got people lined up, people staying afterwards.
It's a double-fister kind of night.
I mean, the heat race. Pearson, obviously fast here, always. He threw a door in there, crossed you up, you crossed him right back. Like, seemed like to kind of set the tone for you tonight that you weren't messing around, it seemed like.
Well, the car just has a good handle, and when the car has a good handle, you can maneuver around and make moves like that. So it's been really good all weekend. We were good last night too. We just got behind a little bit early, and with the invert, and you miss that invert, and you start in the back of the heat, and it makes it tough. I mean, I think we've capitalized both nights really well as far as points for the weekend, and we should be starting up front for tomorrow, somewhere towards the front, so that always helps. So we're really just going to tweak on one little thing tomorrow, and I think we'll have something for them.
Now, obviously, your car's a Capital. They say the big two, Rocket Longhorn. We
don't get lumped into that big two?
Hey, that's what they say.
Come on,
that's
man.
not what I say. They also call World of Outlaws 1B and Lucas Oil 1A, but Brandon Shepard and you ran second and third.
Yeah.
But how does this Capital fare? It seems like it hooks up well here, even though it may be hit or miss on some other places.
Yeah, well, I mean, you start traveling around to all these different racetracks that I've never been to. Got no notebook to go off of, no experience. You run 2 laps for hot laps, and then you're supposed to go out and set a track record qualifying lap. So, I mean, that has something to do with it too. Just learning curve for me myself. So, it's a team effort. Capital, the whole team there at Capital, Marshall, Shane, my guys, my dad, my crew. We just gel together, we work together, we don't bitch and complain, we have bad nights, we figure out why we had a bad night, and we move on and make it better. So, I've never been about jumping around to different chassis, and, chassis is a chassis. It's the people that you meet and you gel with and you become family with that really makes these things go. So, I think we've done that over the last few years. We have a good relationship with Marshall and Capital and Shane. And I think it's just the pieces are falling into place and it's starting to show.
And tonight in the A main, looked like you may have had something for Irv once he got to lap traffic and he lost that clean air.
Yeah.
You started closing a couple car lengths, caution came out.
Yeah,
Did that kill it?
Yeah, I didn't want to see those cautions. I'm really a rhythm kind of guy. And so I was just in a good rhythm right there. I felt like I was closing back in on him. Lap traffic was starting to play a factor. Dirty air here is huge, I'm going to tell you. It's
flat track, obviously, downforce.
So I think he was getting in some of that dirty air, and I've been racing in his dirty air the whole time. So just, I felt like we were good enough to at least get there and make a race out of it. Once the caution started coming, I think Herb did a good job on restarts. The first half of the race, I felt like we had something to win. The second half of the race, I felt like we were a second place car. So just really need to make it a little better for tomorrow, and we'll have something for them.
Well, you are kind of representing the Iowa team here. You kind of are. I mean, they could say Ricky Horton Jr., but he's from Arizona.
Yeah.
That's just the facts. You're from here.
Well, he probably wants to claim he's from Iowa. Who wouldn't?
Well, I mean, we would like to choose for Cooney, but the outside wall doesn't. So
yeah, well,
I mean, what do you think
it'll bite you?
Well, what do you think you have to do for this 100 lapper? The track has been relatively excellent the last 2 days.
Super good.
Outside and inside. Sometimes the 100 lapper here though goes to a rubbered up line around the bottom.
Yeah,
do you see that?
I don't. I really don't. The tires that we're running, it's just different this year with the compounds that we have to run. I think it's going to get clean and get really racy, and I don't think it's going to lay down much rubber. These hard tires, they just don't lay down rubber like the different compounds do. So, 25 laps here, it's like a sprint, but it's a huge half mile, and it still feels like a 50-lap race. So 100 laps tomorrow, it's going to be a long-ass race. You got to pace yourself. You got to clip off 50, 60 laps, and you got to have your stuff ready for the last 20, 30 sprint.
And the question is, are you going to ride up on the wall? Are you going to run the high side the whole race? We know we got some fans out there that want to see you just rip the lip.
I know. I hear you. I want to impress, I tell you. But I got to have a spoiler and a race car and a right rear tire left for the last 20 sprint.
Okay.
I'm telling you, if we're running second or third and I feel like there's an opportunity to get it on the top, I'm going to get it on.
It looks like you run well here on the top. When you stick it, it sticks. This car goes.
Yeah, I'm telling you, though, you're hauling ass, and if you mess up, you're
Todd Cooney.
You're junk.
You're Todd Cooney.
You're O'Neill, you're Cooney, it could be anybody. It has nothing to do with any of them guys.
And entering one looks tight on the top.
I'm telling you, if you push across that shine, you're done. You're in the wall. So, I don't know. We'll see. You got to have a car that will steer, and you got to have a car that will rotate the center, and you got to have a car good enough to beat, I don't know, 32 other cars, or how many are going to start tomorrow.
So, at noon tomorrow, there is an auction.
Yes, sir.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Tomorrow at noon, there is an auction. Is he inviting you over to be the auctioneer?
He sure was.
So say we were auctioning this beer right now. What would be? How would you do this?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hands up, hands high. Michelob Ultra on the stage.
Oh God!
5 would have been 5. 5 would have been 5. 5 would have been 5 would have been 20. 5 would have been 30. So, to the man in the hat.
Backwards hat.
Yeah, backwards hat.
You just need a cowboy hat and a belt buckle, and I think people would buy it, you know?
I have many hidden hat talents.
Isn't that always the auctioneers? The cowboy hat and the big giant belt buckle. It seems like the look.
I need both of those things. I'm kind of a city boy. I'm a wannabe country boy, so if anybody wants to hook me up with a cowboy hat and big ass belt buckle, I'm good with it.
So you're like a Luke Bryan of Iowa.
Yeah. I wouldn't go that far. I'm just a wannabe.
A wannabe?
Yeah.
That's
I
demoralizing.
think if I own
a wannabe with the t-shirt with the dot on it.
Yeah, I think if I own the cowboy hat and the belt buckle, then I might be the Luke Bryant, but I'm just a wannabe right now.
Okay. And you want to win?
Yeah, for sure.